I didn't grow up prodigal. My success has been probable. Still go harder than a lot of you.
Hey y'all, welcome to Unheard Sessions with Indigo, and this is episode 2. And today I have with me Aläz, and I have DK straight out of Macon, Georgia. Yeah, y'all want to introduce yourselves a little bit?
What's going on? My name is DKOMX, stand for DK over music.
And I go by Aläz. Aläz means I belong to God. It also means all love, always. Like she said, we straight from the mat.
Straight out of Macon. Okay. All right, this is a really special episode, so you'll pass me the gummies right there. So, second episode, we got our first sponsorship. So, this is Goalie Nutrition. And these are their extra strength melatonin gummies, which I actually use myself because I'm always busy.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I have trouble like shutting down at night.
True.
So I added them to my nighttime routine, which is, taking a shower, cooking, taking one of these, watching like Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Out. So the good thing about these gummies, they are 100% drug-free. They are gluten-free, non-GMO, gelatin-free, and vegan. If you are vegan, this is the one for you. And they promote restful sleep, staying asleep all night, and just if you have insomnia, this is really good. Now they also have a regular dosage, so this is the extra strength that I have, and they're 10 milligrams of melatonin. They also have apple cider vinegar. They have ashwagandha as well. So just make sure you go to goalienutrition.com, and we have a PR code. Type in R1 Records for 10% off, and you'll be good.
Hard.
All right, you put that back up there for me. All right, and let's just do a couple of icebreakers before we get into the podcast.
Okay, let's.
You can grab one out of there. We'll each just grab one. Got the little pearls in there.
Nice. That's elegant.
All right. Let's see.
You'll pass it around. Yeah, we'll go ahead and grab ours.
One on top.
We'll each answer them. Yeah.
Sure, we got one.
I don't remember what's on here. Oh, okay. Okay, DK, you could go first.
All right, bet. What is the one outfit someone could wear that would make you go on a date with them?
Yo.
Let's see. I don't know. Like, I really like anything, to be real. As long as you look beautiful, as long as you expressing yourself. So, I mean, cool little dress, whatever makes you comfortable, for real. Like, as long as you got that energy.
Okay, I love that. All right. Well, for me, I would say. Okay, so I like when guys wear like a nice black turtleneck. It's something about like a black, then like the earring, a little chain, throw on a little trench coat. That's the fit right there for me.
Okay, shoot, man. I mean, if I'm rocking with her, you know what I mean? Whatever she got on, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's definitely what I'm on. But, something with some style. I like modest, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, I like for her to be able to show that she's beautiful while still having some, you know what I'm saying, some class with it, you know what I mean?
Okay. All right, let's see. What song would be the anthem of your life? Definitely Me, Myself, and I by Beyonce. It's my favorite song, actually. Yeah, I love that song. Whoever wrote that song, they did a wonderful job.
Yeah, that's too hard.
Yeah.
No cap.
Anthem
You
for
could go
your
ahead.
life? Sheesh.
It's a hard one.
That's anthem. Better. Yeah, 1,000%. So that joint came out 2019, and it's really been, even though it was a moment in time, it's like a lifelong journey to continue to be better. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
What about you?
I'll probably say my song Wait Till Sunday.
Yeah.
That's probably, well, it's called Sunday. Like, the album called Wait Till Sunday. But I'll probably say that one because it's like, coming into your dreams and everything like that. And I feel like I'm chasing my dreams every day. So, yeah.
She got on this thing. So if you could only listen to any one music genre forever, what genre forever would it be? Genre?
I know what you're picking.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're picking.
Man, I'm going to say hip-hop.
I knew you was going to say that.
You thought?
Same.
Yeah, okay. So the reason why is because hip-hop has every genre in it. So, like, you know what I'm saying? You could get some jazz vibes, some classical vibes, R&B vibes. But, yeah, definitely hip-hop.
Okay. For me, That's a hard one. Every day.
Yeah.
Rest of my life. My favorite genre is pop, but I don't think I could listen to pop every day.
Really?
Maybe R&B. I'll go with R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do R&B because, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, because you think that forever, you know what I'm saying?
I might
Putting something
forever,
different
but
on
it's
it.
like with pop music, I listen to that because, you know, I love like dancing and stuff
True.
like that. But it's like, are you going to be in the mood for that every
That's
day?
what I'm saying.
You know?
Yeah. Like,
So, yeah, I'll probably go
there's
with
like
R&B.
hype R&B, there's
Yeah.
slow R&B, so you can like rock out.
Yeah.
100%.
You go ahead.
For sure. Oh. Yeah.
you said it was hip hop too?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
about, yeah.
Word.
All right. So, the thing about DK and Aläz is that I did research and I see that y'all already have a little history with each other. So, just briefly, you know, tell us how y'all met each other and just whatever y'all want. Let's get into it.
Man, so, you know, once upon a time, you know, in a land far away, I met this cat, you know what I mean? And it was like, I just kept hearing about, you know what I mean? Like, DK. And I was like, man, who is DK? You know what I mean? And we met at the Otis Redding camp.
I'm sitting here like,
Yeah, no, I was a kid.
Yeah, we met at the Otis Redding music camp, hosted by the Otis Redding Foundation in Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
And I was a coach, he was a camper. And but I'm playing, but he did definitely stand out, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like how he approached music and just being focused. Because, I mean, you know, he was young, so he's still playing around and, you know, doing his thing. But when it was time to lock in, he was able to lock in. And that's a big testament, you know what I mean, to his parents, Dr. Kevin and Dr. Shamita Williams. But just because your parents give it to you don't mean you always going to lock in and be able to, like, apply it. So that's what really stood out about DK. And, bro, you know, bro could spit. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So, yeah, that's where we met.
all right. Okay, so, well, what do you each bring to the table when working together on music, and how do your individual styles complement each other?
Okay. So like something I think that I bring to the table is just like my energy, and definitely like my delivery. Like I feel like I have something different every time, and I have something different with every song that I do. So that's something that I bring to the table. And then really just like he said, like we met in a capacity where like he was my coach, I'm a camper.
Yeah.
And so like something that he brought to me to the table, and something that he brings is just like he taught me, you know, different rhyming styles and different lyric patterns, and then also like how to set up a studio. So I wouldn't even have my home studio if it wasn't for you, you know what I'm saying? So like it's like stuff like that, like taught me the technical side of the music industry too. So yeah.
All right, you were a songwriter?
Man, so like at the Otis Music Camp, I was the head hip hop songwriting coach.
Okay.
So we have different genre rooms in the Otis Redding Foundation. So what that means is you got the classical room, you got the pop room, the R&B room, the rock room, the gospel room, and you know when you step around that hallway, you know what I'm saying, and you open one of them doors. You go into the world famous rap room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that double R hit different, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's a representation of the full, you know, the full community. How we definitely take a very serious approach when it comes to upholding the legacy of Otis Redding.
Yeah.
And just making sure that we push, you know, the energy of the camp forward. So when you say like bringing to the table with music, like DK also when it comes to hooks, you know what I mean? Like he's always been an incredible hook writer. And even when you listen to our music together, you'll hear, like he said, the energy in his flow, the speed of his flow, you know what I mean? And I've even been inspired by that, you know what I mean? Because I come from a lot of artists. Of course, like, you know, artists have been rapping fast forever. Yeah. However, me personally, I dabble in it. But like being on different records, it inspires me to, you know what I'm saying, get into that bag, you know what I mean, and explore that bag. So, yeah, that's definitely been a dope, you know what I mean, interaction.
Okay. I love it. Okay, so how has your friendship helped you navigate the challenges of the music industry? And can you share a memorable moment you've experienced together?
Man, so many moments, so many. But navigating the challenges of the music industry, I remember as I was traveling, I traveled a lot around, you know what I mean, the nation and the world. And I always make sure that I come back to Macon, you know what I mean, twice a year. So the Juneteenth Freedom Festival, the Otis Redding Music Camp, and the Kwanzaa series, making sure that in summer and December I come back. And sometimes the youth ask me like, man, why you move the way you move? And the big reason why I move the way I move is because I'm not looking to be an example that just talks to you and tells them, oh, this is how you succeed and this is how you stay focused. Like, my goal is to demonstrate it so they can see it in real time. So that's really helped me to navigate, because I know I'm going back to have to really be with youth and tell them, like, I can't cap with them, you know what I'm saying? And just be like, yeah, man, I stood my ground in the studio, and you know what I'm saying? I'm really living my principles for it. Like, bro, I just seen you come out with a single that, you know, that ain't who you are for real. So that's really helped me to navigate it, because I know I had that accountability coming back home.
Yeah. And like really just like working together, like we done been in so many situations where we in the studio and, you know, it's new people there, and it can always be a kind of environment where, you know, sometimes it's difficult to navigate. So like growing up, like with him, like able to kind of like show me how to carry myself in the studio, show me like studio etiquette, how to, you know, navigate the industry in that way. Like it makes like all our interactions like going forward as I've gotten older, like way easier. Like, yeah.
And if you want a memorable moment, you know what I'm
what
saying?
is y'all favorite?
What's a good one?
Man, look, man. So I'm gonna take it back to the first project. You know what I mean?
Which one?
Wait Till Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Because we did a single before that, A Whole Nother World. A single based off of a book by Ta-Nehisi Coates, Between the World and Me. And but I got a chance to executive produce his first album. You know what I'm saying? And when we were working on Wait Till Sunday, man, like the nights, you know what I'm saying, were like so late. You know what I'm saying? Like we was
during
in there.
COVID, like
Bro, like we was in there.
Yeah.
And you know, during like COVID, like it really had to be like your peoples for real. Cause like you wasn't just hanging around anybody.
Yep.
no cap.
And then because both of his, you know, parents, you know, they have background in the medical field, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like they definitely wasn't playing about, you know, none of that. So you had to make sure, you know, you COVID free, you know, before you pull up over here. And had to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, as we locking in, you know what I'm saying, we making the most of that time. So they created a home studio, you know what I'm saying? Like he was saying, you know, they was asking, okay, what type of stuff we need to invest in and get. And we up at the, you know, in the spot, you know what I mean, just cooking. I'm talking about all types of night, you know what I mean? And, but the music reflected, you know what I mean, the work that we put in. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. So, given your experiences, what advice would you give to artists who want to build strong collaborations and friendships in the industry?
Something I would really tell them is like focus on the music, you know what I'm saying? Just really put all your effort into the music, and friendships will come out of it in the most natural, like right way. Because like once you like really love something, once you love your art, you love what you're doing, the people that love it too or want to see it nourish and grow as well, they gonna come and support you.
Okay.
So
Yeah, exactly. To that point, my encouragement to them would be to work to master your craft. And mastery is not you being perfect. Mastery is you having the ability to, on command, deliver on a skill set. So if somebody is playing piano, they may not be a master pianist. However, they can be a master at playing middle C. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I know exactly what it is every time. I could be sleepy, I could be, you know, excited, but I know how to play that. So when you master your craft, you have degrees of mastery. And as you continue to grow, you're going to attract the type of mastery that you have put in and that you've been able to develop. So that's the thing for me. I always wanted to make sure that I was not the weak link in the room. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that creates a lot of anxiety and, you know what I'm saying, unnecessary anxiety and pressure. But and you can still have imposter syndrome even when you've created a high level of mastery. However, the imposter syndrome doesn't linger long when you start creating, and it's like, oh yeah, you do this for real. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from nothing else but putting in that work in 10,000 plus hours. Yeah.
Facts.
All right. I love it. Okay. So how do you balance maintaining a personal friendship with the professional demands of the industry?
So you saying like a personal friendship with our personal friendship? Shoot, like that's, people be talking about business ain't personal. That's cap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a part of business where like you just shut off your emotions, and some people operate like that. Yeah. It can be like that. However, the greatest relationships and the relationships that have the most longevity are the most personal. It's like, there's something about this person that I care about. There's something about this person that I respect. And that's the foundation of it. So like, I don't, like we was talking today with, Kev, his father. He was like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You up in the morning, man, and like, you know what I'm saying? You moving around, because I'm not a morning person. But because India called me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because DK, you know what I'm saying? Because Naseem, you know what I mean? Like, when you around your peoples, and we can all attest to it, like, it could be the hardest thing you ever had to do in your life. But when you're doing it with people that you love, man, it's a great experience. So that's been my biggest thing. The last thing I say about it is my mentor, Lincoln Stevens. I was in a program called the Marcus Graham Project, working to create more diversity in advertising. And this man had relationships in every sector of life. I'm talking entertainment, business, education. And I'm like, bruh. And it wasn't no lightweight relationships. Like, bro could probably hit TD Jakes and be like, you know what I'm saying, like, have a conversation. And I'm like, bro, how you know all these people, first of all? And why they picking up the phone? Like, when you call, like, how do you have these, like, solid relationships? And he said, I don't work with nobody I don't love. And I don't keep in touch with nobody I don't love.
Yeah.
And everybody don't move like that, but I've seen the people that do move like that, their relationships are for life. So that's how I manage it.
I definitely appreciate you being here.
For
I did
sure.
not know you were a morning person. That means a lot to me.
It's love.
You definitely a night owl.
Yeah, 1,000%.
But yeah, it's really just like, if you're not doing business with somebody you love, like, you'll see you won't be doing business for long.
Yeah.
Like,
you better talk to him.
You won't be doing business for long. Like, you'll see the people that you end up doing business with consistently are most likely the people you had those relationships with, like you said. So that's real.
Okay.
Yeah, that's real.
All right. Well, I'm going to just move into individually.
Okay.
With you guys. And so I'm going to start with you first.
Big.
So what I have on Aläz, because I went to your website and I loved it.
Yeah,
I really loved it. So his name, can I say your name? It's okay. His name is Vincent. He is a servant and the founder and executive director of the Collab Project. He is a graduate of Morehouse College and the 1500 Sound Academy. And he is the lead hip-hop songwriting coach for the Otis Redding Foundation and the executive producer of the Real Talk Hip-Hop Summit in Macon as well.
Awesome.
So let's get into it. So your bio mentions how your early life shaped your musical style. Can you elaborate on some of the key influences from your youth that have impacted your music?
For sure. Yeah, it was huge. First and foremost, my father and my mother were huge in shaping my music sensibilities, as well as my grandmother and grandfather on my father's side. So George and Leontine Espy, and my father Fadil Muhammad, and my mother Regina Muhammad, they all in their own right were musicians. So grandfather was music director. We have the same home church, Mount Olive Baptist Church, which I started in, and we were at Mount Olive at different times, but he was the music director for the church, so playing piano and organ. Then my grandmother went to Fisk Fisk University in Nashville. So she was not a part of the Fisk Jubilee Singers, but she was a part of the choir, so she was always singing through the house. My mother and father, mother played piano, and then my father played guitar and Latin and African percussion. So like them, first of all, just them as musicians inspired me. But you talking about their music selection, like it was some drip, you know what I'm saying? Like really like coming through the house, man. And it was so diverse. Of course, you know what I'm saying, we Black, so we listening to a lot of R&B, soul music, you know what I'm saying? But the type of R&B, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about Donny Hathaway and you talk about Stevie Wonder, you talk about, of course, Michael Jackson, but then you start to get into the hip hop, you know what I mean, the jazz. So like Run DMC, you know what I mean, KRS-One, Guru, and then the Arrested Development was a huge influence too, because my mother and father were studying and becoming more conscious about just their lifestyle. Yeah. And it went to everything, like the food started, you know what I mean, started cooking different food, you know what I mean, started watching. We couldn't watch TV for like 3 years in my house. And like, it was only like VHS, you know what I'm saying, and like DVDs. So we were curating our thoughts, curating our beliefs, and making sure that the same way that somebody would present something, it was just that they were presenting. It wasn't we just taking it at face value. And a lot of people don't know why they think the way, you know, we don't know why we think the way we think. We don't know why we have certain tastes or different things, but advertisers do. You know what I'm saying? Like
fed that information.
Yeah, like they know exactly what to send you and what to show you, and they start to shape, you know what I mean, our culture. So we knew, being made in the image of God, that we had a huge responsibility in making sure that we shaped our own identity and shaped how we see things. So they would play certain music that my father was the first, when we go on road trips, that I noticed he was turning down the music on the cuss words. And I was like, why you keep doing that? You know what I'm saying? And it was really, not to say that nobody, like, you know, people cuss, but it's like, pay attention to what you're saying. Pay attention to what you're listening to. Pay attention to what, you know, same thing, ingredients. Okay, all right, you said it's ashwagandha in here, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's good to know, you know what I mean? Because we're a product of everything that we consume. So, man, Arrested Development was bumping. Miles Davis, John Coltrane. But then you get into like Pat Metheny and, you know, different opera, Pavarotti, like any type of music that was dope and solid, like I was being exposed to it. And I really appreciate that, because it didn't put me in a box. Even though I know I'm Black, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop is like, you know what I'm saying, my favorite genre. I know that I'm a child of God, and like God created everything. God is my favorite artist, you know what I'm saying, of all time. So it just opened me up to so much different stuff. Yeah.
Right. Your mixtape, the last mixtape, has been a significant project. So what was the creative process behind this mixtape, and how does it reflect your growth as an artist?
Yeah, so like early on as an artist, of course, more established, and I'll say less than established, more pioneers, you know what I'm saying, of hip hop and just music in general were influencing me. However, coming into my growth, like I'm coming out of Morehouse, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, you know what I mean, like I came up around the time of the crunk era, like Jeezy, Lil Jon, T.I., but you got the Lauryn Hill influence, you got the, you know what I mean, Black Thought influence, but then you start getting the J. Cole and the Kendrick influence, Big Crit, you know what I mean? And throughout the albums, you know, the last mixtape was my 9th project. So by this time, I've explored, you know what I mean, just like total independent production with like heavy synths and stuff like that. Then I'm getting into like sampling, but then I'm like, I gotta pay for that. So like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out like original music and ways that I can create. And what it did was, it was right off the heels of me coming back from California working in advertising. I worked with a group called the Amusement Park, was a branded entertainment agency based in Santa Ana, California, in Orange County. And I'm having to produce. I was hired as a copywriter, but I also, you know, pitched that I produce music. So it's like, yo, can I produce music? And in producing music for advertising, there is no genre limit. Like somebody might call for some EDM, somebody might call for some country, somebody might call for some Afro beat. It's really no limit, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be open to creating. And when you're producing for picture, it's a gateway into scoring and scoring for film. So I scored my first feature film, Trunk Full, when I was in California, shot by Sequel and Rail Smith. So I'm getting like a lot of like cinematic soundscapes and just like going into all these different types of layers. And I'm into so much different stuff that I'm like, okay, how do I showcase this? Because I get tired of like going in rooms and like, you know, it's like, how much time you got? What you do? Oh yeah, I produce and I write and you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, man, that's cool. But I wanted to create seasons. So in this season, I'm an MC, you know what I mean? So the first season, I'm just barring up, you know what I mean? And I met Deontay Hitchcock through a good friend of mine, Brandon Phillips Taylor, who's his producer. And he was coming off the heels of the Revenge of the Dreamers project with Cole. Okay. So like Cole had them boys, you know what I'm saying, in Dreamville, pushing that pen, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, like they literally like the same way that you working out, you know what I mean? As a athlete, you an athlete with that pen. So they were doing 7-minute drills and you know what I mean, different things. And he was writing a verse a day. And I thought it was verse a day for like 100 days, but it's a verse a day for your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I got up to like 40 verses, you know what I'm saying? And so 20 of the verses are on the last mixtape. So the first season is a hip hop season and the last season is a hip hop season because that's my anchor genre. Yeah. And each song has 2 different verses on it. So like it'll switch in the middle. Then the second season was a jazz season, so instrumental season, because throughout my whole career, I'm over here rapping and people knew I played trumpet. Yeah. So like when they bought my record, they'd be like, yo, bro, like I ain't really hear too much trumpet on there, bro. You doing a lot of rapping. You rapping, but like, what's up with the trumpet? Yeah. And so I wanted to have something just dedicated to just instrumental music. Then I did being with the Otis Redding Foundation, I got heavy into songwriting. And I used to only write hip hop, but R&B became an outlet for me because I'm a lyrical, you know what I'm saying? I'm a lyrical artist. So I'm really big on lyrics and I take a lot of time thinking about it. And with R&B, there's a lot more space. Depending on how you write and the way that I write, the R&B that I like, my grandfather used to play Luther Vandross, and like it was a lot of space and a lot of like storytelling. So it gave me a way to take a break from the heavy, you know what I'm saying, but still working on that pen. And any song that I've ever sang on was always for somebody else to sing. Like, it was a reference track to get Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying, or her, or, you know what I mean? Like, if I can get this to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I would want them to sing. And, but at the same time, we live in an industry where a lot of times we just cooking up and we create music and that hard drive is just like saturated with music that ain't nobody never heard. And I was like, man, we only get one life. So I have a limit of a year of having tracks, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's like a project we know, like it's for a movie or something like that. Like if I'm just creating, it's got a year to sit on that hard drive and then it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? So, and then after that, I did a world music instrumental segment. Backtrack, the R&B is also therapy for me as well. It's a way to just be super vulnerable, super honest, and be able to share thoughts and process things. The world music instrumentals, like I said, my father grew us up playing African and Latin percussion, so congas, djembes, things like that. And our roots, those African roots and indigenous roots, I wanted to pay homage to that and connect to the global family, you know what I'm saying, with that music. And yeah, like, but the last mixtape, man, like it's just a lot, you know what I'm saying, in it. And I did a 5-city tour in the cities that inspired the music, Macon, Atlanta, Chicago, LA, and Santa Ana, California.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, I love it. Okay. Well, as far as the Hip Hop Summit experience goes, so you are the executive producer, and could you first explain what that is for people who don't know, and what were your specific duties in organizing and executing the event?
100%. The Real Talk Hip Hop Summit is an annual event that shows youth how to create careers through the elements of hip hop through exposing them to entrepreneurs that have created literal careers through hip hop. So we recently had an artist, his name is Cosign. So Marcos Cosign Palacios, one half of the interns. He's produced for Nicki Minaj, Big Sean, Chris Brown, Rihanna, all types of people, and also a FAMU graduate. And I met him through the ASCAP Writers Conference in LA and reconnected with him through 1500 Sound Academy and just so many different things. But he was always a mentor that was open to just sharing information. And a lot of people gatekeep information. He was always open with sharing the information. And I invited him to come to Macon to share how he's created a career. Because a lot of us, we making beats on the lunchroom table, and like we don't understand, fam, like that's an industry. You know what I mean? And the sauce that you putting out with these pens and, you know what I'm saying, pencils, if you were to put that into some software, into a DAW, a digital audio workstation, like, fam, you could literally create a new genre. The same way that, you know what I'm saying, like Teddy Riley created New Jack Swing, like people were creating different things, but they didn't name it. You know what I'm saying? But like when we value our art and we create, you know what I'm saying, new innovations on eternal principles, then it's like that's when you get into that sauce for real. So, but when people are able to see it, I got into DJing by seeing a DJ named Roster Root, who he was very big and instrumental in the career of Phife Dawg and from Tribe Called Quest, rest in peace. And when I was at the National Black Arts Festival, he gave us the opportunity to touch his turntables. And if anybody know anything about turntables, like you don't just be walking up on nobody, especially like vinyl, you don't just be walking up on nobody's, you know what I'm saying, turntable and just, hey, let me touch this real quick. Cause you could break that joint, like you could scratch the record the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? But he was open, and that ended up inspiring me to get my own turntables, you know what I'm saying? And those turntables were the turntables we used to teach at the Real Talk Hip Hop Summit, where because he let me do that, I let the youth come up and they be hitting the needle sometimes, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, we'll replace it, but like I want you to get that feel. So people like Cosign, people like DJ Roster Root, you know what I'm saying, have come to the Hip Hop Summit. People like Killer Mike, you know what I mean, have been to the Hip Hop Summit, as well as people like Mamouna Yusuf or Mumu Fresh, who has created not only a career in music, but also a school to teach people how to create, you know, careers in music. So yeah, the Hip Hop Summit started as the Real Talk Hip Hop Conference, and later became the Real Talk Hip Hop Summit. And as executive director or producer, I've worn every hat from sound man, stage manager, advertiser, financier, security, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever needed to be done in the infantile stages, you know, that's what, you know what I mean, I was willing to do along with my team, you know what I'm saying? Sabir, Amira, Saha, Sankofa, Bradley. We had a whole team, Kareem, Jabril, Sharif, Aaliyah. We had a whole team of people called Team Real that we would dance for donations to raise money. We would set up with the historic Douglas Theater. They have a theater camp, and they would run the sound. I'm talking about when we first started theater camp, there was a young man. His name was Ezra. This boy couldn't have been no more than probably 9, 10, running sound. Like he's on the soundboard, you know what I mean, turning up, you know, the treble, you know what I mean, like got the crossfaders going, and he can't hardly even see over, you know what I'm saying, the board. But that translates into, because we had that type of that type of training in such a historic theater like the Douglas Theater, started by Charles Henry Douglas in the 1920s, when Black people couldn't go to theaters. Like, you know, we love the Grand Opera House, and it's a beautiful theater in Macon, Georgia, but there was a time where Black people could not go into the Grand Opera House, or we had to sit in the colored section. And he was like, nah, I'm cool. You know what I mean? We gonna create a dignified experience for our own people. And he created the Douglas Theater. So having Black children in that theater, learning about sound, lighting, and all of those different things, it was a very big exercise in self-determination of us defining ourselves, naming ourselves, and creating for ourselves. Yeah. So, like, that's been my role, you know what I mean, with the Real Talk Hip Hop Summit.
Okay. All right, I love that. I'm glad you explained that, because I was on your website, you know, trying to look more into it and everything. But I did want to ask you, how many years have y'all?
Yeah, so next year will be our 20-year anniversary for the Real Talk Hip Hop Summit. So, you know what I mean? Like, we've been at it, man. And even Nasim and Rashid, you know, we do a lot of programming in the Douglas Theater. And we all grew up together. You know what I mean? Like, we over there, I can remember times when we trying to dance, you know what I'm saying? And we learning different, you know, B-boy moves. Shout out to the Olympics, man. You know, we gonna pray for y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you know, who y'all talk to, you know what I'm saying, to get them B-boys and B-girls. But it was some solid ones. Yeah. But it was something that snuck in there, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we ain't gonna point no elbows or, you know what I'm saying, no boomerangs or nothing like that, you know. Yeah, man, it was some wild things going on. But we would dance on the stage and, like, we be doing our little version of head spins and, you know what I'm saying, flipping out the stage, all types of stuff going on.
Y'all going crazy.
Yeah, nah, they was over there like, do we have insurance for this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
pulling out the jazz pants.
Bro, we ain't thinking, bro, definitely had the parachute pants, you know what I'm saying? But it was a fight, though, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, when we look back at the legacy of what we've been doing, like, it's really been creating an institution off the strength of people like my father and my mother and all of our, you know, fathers and mothers. Because the Juneteenth Freedom Festival in Macon, Georgia is the longest continuous Juneteenth celebration in the state of Georgia. So when I'm looking at 34 years coming up next year for the Juneteenth celebration, it makes sense that the Real Talk Hip Hop Summit is going 20 years and all the different things that we've been able to do have been able to stand the test of time.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, well, looking back at your career so far, what do you consider to be your most significant milestone, and how did it impact your journey as an artist?
Hands down, my most significant milestone, it was the 10-year anniversary of an organization called Hip Hop Detox. Hip Hop Detox was started in Chicago by Brother Enoch and Sister Keisha, and it is a public health nonprofit that works to replace self-destructive lifestyles with the elements of hip hop. So I got invited. I would always see Hip Hop Detox. I'm talking about, like, it's artists like Rakim and Dougie Fresh and, like, all different types of people, you know what I'm saying, rocking with Hip Hop Detox. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to, like, get connected, you know what I'm saying, and just be a part of what's going on. Eventually, I got a chance to connect with Brother Enoch, and not only became an artist, performer with Hip Hop Detox, but became a facilitator. I was invited to Chicago to mentor in the school system for 3 months. And, you know, we were at schools like, you know, Wacker Elementary, Fernwood Elementary, Simeon, where Derrick Rose, you know what I mean, went to school. All these different schools, just mentoring young men and women to help us refocus our energy. Because people always look at us in the hood, because I grew up, you know what I'm saying, I was born in a house on the west side of Macon, grew up on the east side of Macon, between Fort Hill and the Belvedere Manor neighborhood. So Fort Hill is a GD neighborhood. Like, I ain't know what folk was, you know what I'm saying, coming up, but I'm just seeing cats, you know what I mean, wearing the same color. I'm seeing 6-pointed stars on the, you know what I'm saying, the wall and whatnot. And I'm like, you know, I knew about Crip, knew about Blood, you know what I'm saying, but then you got other mafia, you know what I'm saying, all different types of, you know what I mean, just people call them gangs, but it's really just collectives, you know what I'm saying, of youth trying to figure it out, you know what I mean? So when I'm looking at this, going to Chicago, and Chicago having GDs and Vice Lords and, you know what I'm saying, four corner hustlers and like all these different, because it's deeper than just the, we hear a lot about the black gangs, but we don't hear a lot about Al Capone, you know what I'm saying, and just the history of the gangster fabric of Chicago. And then also, too, the diversity and the pockets of just ethnic, you know what I mean, pockets where you got Palestinian, you got, you know what I'm saying, Latino and Hispanic, you got, you know what I'm saying, the different continental Africans, you got, you know what I'm saying, just hood, you know what I mean, you got all these, and then, of course, you got Irish, you got, you know what I'm saying, all of these different pockets of people that have come from all these different places, but it's a very segmented city, and there's a lot of love in Chicago. However, there's a lot of history in Chicago and a lot of layers in Chicago, and politics on every level, whether it be, you know, political politics, you know what I'm saying, or governmental politics, street politics, you know, all different types of things. So saying that to say, when I came and I was working with Hip Hop Detox, I learned a lot about the different conditions of communities, that the conditions are the same, the flavors are just different. We got different slang, we got different, you know what I'm saying, ways that we navigate things, but the poverty is the same, the violence is the same, the miseducation is the same. All of those things are the same. And the need for love, the need for resources is the same. So being with Hip Hop Detox, there, when we were celebrating the 10-year anniversary, we got a chance to perform at Muhammad University of Islam at the headquarters of the Nation of Islam in Chicago at Mosque Maryam. And we were performing for the entire, you know, city and community, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was in the performance, or not in the performance. He's an artist in his own right, but a lot of people don't know that. But he was in the audience. So me coming up, my parents, their life changed when they heard the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad represented through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And his example got them to actually create work and create spaces where we're not just going to allow the school system to shape our children. We're not just going to allow the government to shape our children. We're going to create safe spaces. We're going to create spaces where we can learn about ourselves, learn about our history, and be able to create and be able to have power, you know what I'm saying, and being able to define ourselves. So after the performance, we got invited to the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan stays, and we call it the Palace. When I tell you, man, like, we're sitting in, it's a room full of mirrors, and there's about 40 people around a long table. And I got the opportunity to, I mean, it just the way it happened. I'm sitting on one side of the table, Minister Farrakhan sitting on the other side of the table. And all of these different artists, that was the highlight of my career, because there's a lot of people who do music for the wrong reasons. Just want to get some money, you know what I'm saying, want to get some fame. And music is so powerful. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan commissioned us to create a cultural revolution, because I love, you know what I'm saying, all of the artists, and I don't trip on them taking a certain route that may not be my personal route, because I know where we come from. Man, shoot, if you tell me that sex sells, then shoot, like, if I'm broke, I'm going for this. You tell me that drugs sell, bruh, I'm trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, how to live my life. But if you really give us the real opportunity, we will promote life and not death. So Minister Farrakhan has been like the hugest influence on my life personally, and then artistically. And I was able to ask him a question about being an artist, and he encouraged me to continue to make songs with my trumpet, continue to make songs as an MC. And like that is like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever happened from here is cool. Like, but like, that was like, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a super high, because I done had, you know what I mean, a lot of run-ins with a lot of famous people, and you know what I'm saying, just dope stuff that we could name drop and stuff like that. But that in particular, that meant everything to me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you one last question.
Yeah.
So, what are you currently working on, and what can your supporters look forward to in the future?
For sure. Currently, I'm working on being a better person.
Okay.
So the thing that I always say when people ask, like, what do you do? And like how, you know, I say I'm a servant, because every day my goal is to breathe, bathe, pray, and then serve. Now, how that looks, it could be that I'm teaching a workshop. It could be that I am making some music. It could be that I'm going out and doing community service. It could be a podcast. It could be whatever it is. But whatever I do, my goal is to make sure that the situation was better because I was a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, once again, Minister Farrakhan taught us that self-improvement is the basis for community development. And that means that we can talk about, you know what I'm saying, what everybody else doing, but we ain't got no control over their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we have complete control, you know what I mean, if we develop it. Complete control over our perspective, complete control over the effort that we put in, complete control on how we show up. So, yeah, specifically, I work to make sure that I create something every day. So whether that's an idea, like a voice note, if that's a melody, if it's, you know, a beat, if it's, you know, writing a lyric, a song, a program, create something every day. Currently, and I don't know when this is coming out, but there's some big news coming up with the Otis Redding Foundation. The Otis Redding Center of the Arts is getting ready to be completed in Macon, Georgia. And it's an incredible facility that stands on the legacy of the great Otis Redding and his family, from, you know, his wife Zelma Redding to his daughter Carla Redding Andrews, to his sons, the late Otis Redding III, rest in peace, Dexter Redding, as well as Justin Redding Andrews, and the whole team, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the blood family. But we're part of the extended family. And being able to stand on his legacy, he was the type of person that when you hear the name Otis Redding, it carries weight, not because somebody is trying to, like, oh yeah, man, you know what I mean? Like, you really should care about this because this is the trendy thing, or because I said so. It's like, nah, when you hear that man sing, you hear the work he put in. You hear the soul. He ain't called a king of soul for no reason. It's because he put his life into his music. And not only did he put his life into his music, but he created a lifestyle for himself and his family that could create generational wealth beyond his life, beyond his physical life. So he continues to live through the work that he has done to educate, you know, youth when it comes to music. And with the Otis Redding Center for the Arts, programs from lessons to workshops and camps and anything that you could think about to learn about the music industry, whether it be the business side of the music industry, the creative side of the music industry, the self-care side of the music industry, to be able to have sustainable careers, because a lot of us crash and burn because we don't really know what we're getting ourselves into. But know what you're getting yourself into, prepare yourself for that, and make sure that your contribution is making, you know, the community better. So I'll be having a very pivotal role, you know what I'm saying, coming up with the Otis Redding Center of the Arts. I just was awarded the Dream Award that I'll be receiving. We have September 8th and September 9th, the Evening of Respect and the Otis Redding Homecoming, the big old homecoming show. So that's going to be really dope. And then, man, the other things that I'm working on, you know what I'm saying? We here, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, we can share with the fam, you know what I mean? Like, working on an album, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, anytime people ask me, and it started at Morehouse, people said, like, yo, how you doing? And I'll be like, man, at first we just say whatever. You know how it be, man, I'm all right, you know, chilling, you know what I'm saying, ain't nothing. But at a certain point, I realized that when I said I was chilling, I was just chilling.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't getting nothing done, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like language has a big impact. So yeah, there's certain times that I'm chilling. However, I changed when people say, how are you doing? I said, I'm focused. And I said it not because I was always focused, but as a reminder that if I'm not focused, what we doing right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
well, what we here for? You know what I mean? Because we only get one of these. We only get one life. So it's like, if we not intentional, because God didn't put a blade of grass, you know what I'm saying, in the ground just to do it. Like, every grain of sand got a purpose. It could seem like, oh man, that's just nah, it's got a purpose. Your pinky toe got a purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's small, but lose that joint. You know what I'm saying? You gonna see, man, my balance off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that thing got a purpose. So it's like every moment, every second has a purpose. So making sure I stay focused, and it evolved into being focused and blessed. So that's gonna be the title for the album, Focused and Blessed. And just really a lifestyle project that talks about the journey of where I've come from, you know what I mean, where I'm going. And I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, people like Nassim, you know what I'm saying, Rashid, DK, Sabir, my younger brother Kareem, because this journey in music is not one, especially when you have standards and you working to like really be grounded for real. It can be very tough, you know what I'm saying, to stay focused and to stay motivated, because it's like, is there even a space, you know what I'm saying, for what I think, you know what I'm saying? Is there a space for how I feel? Because if I'm looking at people celebrating some wild stuff, I'm like, yo, like, is this really what y'all like? This really what y'all, you know what I'm saying? And we've all experienced it. You don't want to be that one, you know what I'm saying, that person that's always redirecting the conversation and, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, man, why you so serious right now? You know what I'm saying? It's like, life serious, you know what I mean? And we're going to have a good time, but like at the same time, like, let's make sure that we're intentional in how we moving, you know what I'm saying? And if it's a joke, let it be known it's a joke.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are making jokes their life, you know what I'm saying, at this point. So I'm excited, man. I get inspired by these cats, you know what I'm saying, just to, because next year will be my 25th year making music. Oh, wow. So like, you know what I'm saying, it's been a dope journey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, y'all, let's clap it up for Aläz.
Hey, praise God.
Very proud of you.
Gratitude.
Very grateful that I met you as well.
Likewise.
And the very first time I saw you perform was when I saw Sabir. You had your trumpet.
Yeah.
And you were just, it was the energy. I mean, like, you can have somebody like that's in the audience or like a section that's just quiet as a mouse, and you just make sure like y'all know I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, so when I first saw you the first time, I was like, he's very special. So I'm proud of you.
Gratitude.
I'm excited for your new project as well. And like I said, any way I can support you, you know, I'm gonna show up.
For sure.
Just like you show up for me.
Man, it takes special to know special.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you. And like I was telling you and expressing, the platform that you created, there are a lot of people who create platforms. However, the quality that you have created with your platform, it means everything, because I'm under no illusion that even though I have had a very dope career, a very powerful career, that everybody don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So like, your first impression is huge. And a lot of people be like, yeah, man, we just throw something together real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And I heard of J. Cole and I heard of Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get right when Kendrick and them come through here. But it's like, bro, you meeting Cole and Kendrick every day. Yeah. You meeting a potential Cole and Kendrick every day. You know what I'm saying? And for you, first of all, to value yourself enough to put this level of intention in your platform means a lot. But a lot of people stop there. It's always with them, yeah, man, I'm gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, the setting's right when it's time for me. I'm gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, like, I get the right introduction when it's my time. But like, when the next person come up, you just let them walk on stage. It's like, yo, like, what happened? Like, I ain't get the red carpet. Like, so for you to roll the red carpet out for everybody, that's that says a lot about who you are. And it's a great example for how we need to move in the world, because there's so many people, they gonna switch it up. When the president get ready to come through, oh yeah, security tight, you know what I'm saying? Everything cool. But it's like, how about when the janitor walk in? He ain't valuable like the president valuable? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because that gives the fabric of what the community is. If you treat people like they're nothing, then that nothingness becomes a part of the fabric of your community. But when you treat everyone like they're special, of course, we ain't gonna hold nobody, like, when it comes to this music stuff, like, we don't like everything, you know what I'm saying? It's not our taste, but the value and the respect, that's my biggest thing. So I appreciate you showing that respect, not only to us, but to every artist that comes on this platform.
Thank you so much. You can make me cry.
Yeah.
Y'all know I'm sensitive.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go into DK. How you feeling?
Good,
You
good.
feeling good? Okay. So what I have for you, let me know if I pronounce your first name correct. Dakari?
Yep.
Dakari. Okay. So his name is Dakari, and DK means DKOMX means DK over music. He's from Macon, Georgia, and also you mentioned you attended the oldest music camp in Macon, Georgia, but I also have that you were 14 when you attended. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. And so he also has been nominated for the 478 Music Awards for the categories Male Hip Hop Artist of the Year and Hip Hop Artist of the Year. And currently he is the SGA Vice President at FAMU. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. So can you share what inspired you to start making music at such a young age, and how attending the oldest music camp influenced your artistic journey?
For sure. Really, like, I grew up, like you said, Mount Olive. We were just, like, I was at church camp. That's how I was introduced to Mount Olive. So I met my church family there, and they were making music, and really just, it was a good community setting. So, like, some of my friends, they were like, oh, like, we have like a little, like, what is it called? Performance at the end. And so, like, we would rap, do like church rap, everything like that. So that was my first time really performing and like, you know, being with my friends and making music together, writing. And so then my cousin hit me up. He was like, hey, like, I have a performance for the Otis Redding Foundation. And, you know, I'm like, okay, like, let's see what they camp talking about. You know? Let's see what they camp talking about. So I go over, I see the performance. I see him come out on stage. I see my cousin out there, and I'm just like, wow, like, they put a production together. They took this writing thing to another level that I didn't even know, you know, they could do. So from that point forward, I was around 13. So then that next year, I'm on a sign-up sheet. Like, I'm there. So I'm at the Otis Redding Foundation, and just the attention to detail that they had and making sure we understood the industry as a whole. Like, when it came to registering our songs with BMI, when it came to, you know, making sure that the production was right for the entire show. Like, seeing that at such a young age really influenced me to be like, this could be something serious. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, well, your debut mixtape, Wait Till Sunday, came out in October 2020. And you followed it up with your EP, Go Mode, in April 2022. So how has your music evolved between those two projects?
Really, I think the biggest evolution was just the attention to detail, and also the, not ease, because, like, I wouldn't say, like, it was easier to make Go Mode, but you have more of an understanding, like, after you've done it before. And so there wasn't as much thought that I had to put into, like, okay, I want to make this creative decision. Creatively, I was just like, this is how I feel. And it felt a lot more freeing, I feel like. So just getting into it, I made it really quickly. I think Go Mode was, so how the story of Go Mode really is, so I made it in my summer going into college, like freshman year going into college. And so, you know, me and Vince, we had the opportunity to make the, what is it, Black Man Lab project. So, like, I was the assistant music director, he's a music director. And so basically Wait Till Sunday dropped, and then we went straight into production for the Black Man Lab project. And so, you know, it was amazing and everything like that, but I realized I took a break from, you know, my own music for like a really good minute. So before I went to college, I locked in and like I was back for 2 weeks. And so those 2 weeks I was just like, you know, God, like if there's something creatively that I can, you know, create in these 2 weeks, let's create it. And so, you know, he led me to make Go Mode, kind of just talking about the motivation behind my music and how to inspire other people. That was really what the project was about. So yeah.
Okay, so between those two projects, which would you say is your favorite?
That's a good question. I really can't put one over the other for real. I feel like Aläz was saying, like the different seasons that, you know, that you can put within music, each season has a reason, you know what I'm saying? So literally Wait Till Sunday was what a 17-year-old, 16, 17-year-old DK really wanted to talk about. And then Go Mode was what an 18, 19-year-old DK really wanted to talk about. So I can't really sit here and be like, oh, this one was better, this one was better. It's more of, this is the season I was in, here, this season I am now.
Okay. All right. Okay, so how did being selected for the Black Man Lab Young Creators, Innovators, and Entrepreneurs Fellowship and receiving the Essential Theater Scholarship from FAMU impact your career and personal development?
For sure. I think both really impacted like my creative development as well. Just being picked for the Black Man Lab project to where we could really like influence that many youth. Me still being a youth and influencing youth like that was very impactful. Like he's been doing it his whole career, had years on it, but you know, I just put out my first mixtape. So just the juxtaposition of like those two positions and learning from him as well as seeing where I fit in was really big. And then for the theater scholarship, you know, that was amazing too. Like my whole high school career and a little bit of middle school too, I'm, you know, doing music, but I'm also acting. And so just finding the art forms that I liked and different ways of expression. Acting is a totally different thing that I have to tap into compared to music. And so just the fact that, you know, they saw my self-tape, they was like, wow, like he can really act, and, you know, took a chance on me, took me to FAM and, you know, helped me make that start at FAMU. So yeah.
Okay. So as SGA Vice President, while also pursuing your music career, how do you manage your time and balance between those two responsibilities?
For sure. That's a good one. Like, no, like realistically, like, as soon as I decided to become SGA Vice President, you know, I had to really have a talk with myself of realistically what that balance would look like. What would, you know, music look like, that scape and everything. And I really came to the what is it called? Like realization that it was, I made the choice to put the service first right now and come back to the music. I think the university in general really was seeking that creative mind, that creative vision for a position like that. You know, there's a lot of students that have held the position in the past that may not have had that or just lacking that spark. And so when I saw that the position, you know, was available and what I could bring to the table in a new light, I decided to really like put my foot forward to serve the campus in that way. Cause like the position itself is really just service to the campus, making sure that everybody's good, that, you know, creative visions of the whole student body come to fruition. And so, yeah, I think just making sure that I could put those eggs in that basket for now, for this year, to make sure that the students have what they want. And then also, you know, building myself up as an artist in this next year, not totally putting music to the side, but, you know, growing in a different way in order to tell that story next year.
So have you always been involved in SGA or once you got into college?
So yeah, really once I got into college, so like my freshman year, I was just rapping. So like that was my main thing. They'd be like, if you heard DK, you'd be like, oh, do that rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Coming into the school, rapping any chance I get. There's a karaoke night, I'm rapping, like no matter what. So, you know, doing that. And then also as a freshman, you know, I was the opener for homecoming. So
who you open up for?
Little Baby Money Bag Yo. So,
you gotta mention
you know what I'm saying? Like like just being that kind of presence on campus was very like rewarding, and I just loved the fact that people were really listening to my art. But then like my sophomore year, I really wanted to get into, like I said, service to the campus. I would have like a lot of students, just having that presence on campus where a lot of people know you. You know, a lot of students would come to me like, oh, like this needs to get changed. There's an issue with this. There's an issue with this. And so like I was really trying to figure out how I could advocate for students in a better way too. So I added a senator position onto me being an artist. That way I could kind of like learn the inner workings of SGA, kind of see where I fit into the big equation of advocacy for the school. And so really from there, as a senator, it was like, wow, like this is a good way of advocacy. But I was looking at the vice presidency and I'm like, that's where I feel like my main presence could be felt. If I'm able to do that position, I can put my creative ideas into it. I can put into fruition like my different connections to make sure that the students have what they want. So just being in SGA that 1 year as a senator, like really showed me where I needed to be inside of the SGA scheme of like, you know, the school.
Go ahead and shout out your school, FAMU.
Yeah, for the Agricultural Mechanical University.
Yeah, you gonna do that now. Yeah.
All right. Well, I also see that you have some behind the scene work in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about what you've done in that capacity and how those experiences have shaped your approach to your music?
For sure. So I had the opportunity through the Otis Redding Foundation actually to work an internship as a creative intern at BMI. And so that was very eye-opening, seeing that side of the music industry, something that I've seen my entire life, you know, with the Otis Redding Foundation, them introducing it to me at such a young age, and then being able to be with executives and see the inner workings of that business. So that was something I did my sophomore year as well, to kind of like learn more about the music industry. And I feel like it impacted my art in terms of just really connecting everything that I do musically with that side of the business as well. Like seeing both sides, it's like, okay, well, maybe I need to add this little sauce, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that I'm connecting with this kind of audience. Also, like my emphasis on making sure that I find my audience, you know, BMI, like they look at the numbers and, you know, they see, you know, what audience is working for who and that nature. So just me realizing that, okay, well, if I'm gonna keep doing this, I need to make sure that I'm connecting with my audience in the most genuine way. I'm, you know, impacting people's lives as much as I can. So, yeah.
Okay. And can you let us know all of the recognitions that you've received, especially from Macon, and how that makes you feel receiving that from your hometown?
For sure. So in 2022, I won Macon Artist of the Year, Macon Artist of the Year. So that was amazing. We worked together and won the Soundtrap. What was it?
Soundtrap High School Music Award?
Yeah. So it was like the best song in the nation.
100%.
High school song when I was in high school. So, you know, working with the world famous Rap Room and doing that. But like, so your question was?
Yeah, like how does it make you feel being recognized, especially in your community?
For sure. It makes me feel good. Like just knowing that, you know, this getting recognized like that isn't a given. And then the fact that it can also like impact somebody else who's watching to make sure that, you know, they see somebody like me get it, then it could inspire them. My goal is that inspires them to go do the same thing and work the same amount of hours and work just as hard to make sure that they can achieve their dreams too. So yeah.
Okay. So future project. So what's next for you, and are there any upcoming projects or new directions you're excited about?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about after this next year getting into R&B. I have a R&B album on the way, so yeah, it's called Love Emotion. So LTN for life, you know what I'm saying? Love Emotion, the motto is the mission. But yeah, that's really what I'm excited about, is just creating that project, getting it together. But I think it's gonna be a really fresh and new direction that a lot of people didn't even know I had in the bag.
So you gonna be singing?
I'm gonna be singing.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, well, what advice would you give to young artists who are just starting out and looking to make a name for themselves in the industry?
Really, focus on learning. I feel like this generation, with so much information around you, it's tough to really listen to your elders or like listen to people that have been there.
Yeah.
And so the only way that I feel like I could have got here is listening to people that, whether it's my father who's been in the music business managing before, or whether it's Aläz or Sabir or any one of my mentors, really just taking in as much information as possible.
Yeah.
Lord knows I don't listen to it all the time or, advice or anything like that, but just making sure that, you learn from other people's mistakes that are around you. And I feel like that will boost you up farther than anything in the music industry. Because a lot of people don't do that. They go to YouTube, which, I love YouTube, but, they'll go to YouTube or other places where they feel like, oh, I got it myself. If there's somebody showing you that attention that they want to see you grow, really take that in, soak it up. Even if you don't use all the information, it's like, make sure that you're intentional about receiving information.
Okay. Well, I have this question for you, but I realized you're also on the song. So they're featured on Sabir's album, Space to Grow. And can y'all both, I'm gonna give this both of y'all, let us know how that collaboration started, the creative process, just anything about that track.
You talking about that? So yeah, this man Sabir, man,
Space to Grow,
put together that album, man. You know what I'm saying? They Space to Grow, and like it was a lot of dope collaborations on the project. So when Sabir was creating the project, he reached out. The way that the track came about was Kareem was doing a lot of, A&R work on the project. And as an A&R, making sure that the production matches the lyrics and, giving the right energy to the record. So there was a record that he had that it was like, that joint was fire. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, but it was like, he was like, bro, I ain't really got no, like soul for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it's got the right, energy on it. So it was like, all right then. And this is what I mean by mastery. So I took about 5 years working on production because as a lyricist, my grandfather was an English professor. He was one of the first Black English professors at Mercer University in Macon. My grandmother was superintendent in the school system and a principal at Central High School. My mother and father, Morehouse Spelman, you know what I mean? So when it came to like speaking, linguistics, language, like this is what we do, you know what I'm saying? So when it came to like writing, you know what I mean? It's like, man, we growing up on Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes and like all types of just poets, period. But then you go into hip hop and we listening, like I said, to Black Thought and, Guru, and then eventually Cole and Kendrick and Rhapsody and all of these. So it's like, the pen gonna be there. But the production, it was like, I see what you was doing, but we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna keep it a buck, bro. What I tell the students all the time, I'm like, hey, man, you could be young, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. But ain't nobody worried about that when they press play. You know what I'm saying? Your standard, the way you listen to the music that was made at Westlake Studios, or, you know what I'm saying? We hear Bravo Ocean, you know what I'm saying? Like, wherever it was made, they not gonna ask, oh yeah, you was just at your house or you was, nah, that joint gotta be fire. So you gotta have whatever standard is. If it's not able to sit in a playlist with your favorite artist, you ain't done yet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like you need to make sure that the quality of that joint is up to par with world-class quality. So I put 5 years into like literally waking up every day. I'd be cooking up some trash in that studio sometimes. Like, but it was just get the process, you know what I'm saying? It's like, get to learn your process, get to learn your software, like, get to learn these instruments, you know what I'm saying? Hey, for real, folk ain't gonna tell you that. Timberland ain't gonna tell you was cooking up some trash at one point. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna tell you that. Pharrell ain't gonna tell you was cooking up some trash, you know what I'm saying? But please believe there was a time, ain't nobody pop out the womb just cranking out hits, you know what I'm saying? So, and the other part about it is, even when they make the hits, it don't mean that you guaranteed to make another one. Mm-hmm. That ain't guaranteed that you come on, G. Like, you gotta continue to level up. You gotta continue to work and put in that effort to make sure that you can not only continue to make great music, but also continue to innovate and stay with, you know what I'm saying, like, continue to keep something current. And it doesn't mean trendy. I mean current as the same way water and electricity is current. Like, it's moving with the current of life. So, with that being said, I take a lot of pride in being able to deliver on anything that I give my services for. So if you ask me and I say, all right, we talking about music production or writing a verse or whatever, if I say that mean that I'm ready to deliver a world-class level of whatever. So he was like, hey, bro, you think you could remake the, you know what I'm saying? Not remake the beat, but like make something inspired off this beat. I was like, yeah. Like it wasn't no doubt, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, you know, and that shifted when I started doing like sync licensing and stuff. I remember the largest placement that I ended up having was an NFL commercial. And when I knew, I didn't blink when they were asking for like revisions or whatever it was like, okay, like we in a different space, you know what I'm saying? Because, man, 5 years ago, I was like, oh, the NFL? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, whoever, Disney, whoever, like, you get this work, you know what I'm saying? So when he asked, I was like, I would be happy to cook up on this joint. So I'm in there in the studio, and as I'm hearing the harmony in the track, they were using like a synth. And another thing that I teach in production is instrumentation. Based on, you could use a electric bass, you could use a sousaphone, you could use a moog, you could use whatever, but like the bass is what you're trying to get accomplished, that low frequency. But at the same time, if you use a moog versus you using, and a moog is a keyboard type, you know what I'm saying? It has different bass sounds in it and other sounds as well, synthesizers. But if you use a moog bass versus a sousaphone versus a upright bass, it's a different character. So what I did was, instead of using a synth keyboard, I did the same chord progression using my trumpet. And because now it's a live musician, I'm not just doing the same triad or the same harmony that they're doing. I'm putting in different voicings and I'm putting in different things. So already it's becoming a different thing. Then, you know, I'm pulling in different, you know, people be hating on Splice, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you can't produce, you know what I'm saying, that's your problem. You know what I'm saying? But like, when you can produce for real, nothing's off limits, because you're going to create something original with the tools that you have. There's some people that just, all right, I'm gonna just put this in and, you know, act like it was theirs. But nah, you gonna manipulate something in it. And even if you don't manipulate it and you're putting it into a certain space on something that is original to add a certain color, a certain dynamic, that's when, you know what I'm saying, that's the originality that every producer, because we got 26 letters in the alphabet, our raps don't sound the same. You know what I'm saying? You can use the same tools and use it in an innovative way. So, man, I'm cooking up on that joint. As soon as I laid the horns down, I was like, oh, this different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some getting ready to happen. It was just anthemic, you know what I'm saying? So then, put the bass in that joint, you know what I mean? Start putting in different colors, you know what I mean? Creating different transitions. And when we finish, like, and people always ask that question, you know what I'm saying, on different records, like, did you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, ain't no way to know. Sometimes it ain't no way to know, you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't know, but sometimes it be like, yo, it is one of the ones, you know what I mean? Okay. And I was in the studio super late, like you said, I'm a night owl, and I was like, I just sent it to him. No disclaimers, you know what I'm saying? And the wild part about the beat was I did, I think, 3 beats before that. So it was like, cause I start with the drums a lot of times when I'm cooking up. And because that's the heartbeat. Doesn't mean that you have to do that. Stevie Wonder used to start with the bass. Some people start with harmony, some people start with melody, but that rhythm has a lot to do with the heartbeat of the song. So I wanted to make sure I had the drums, but different things I was putting over the drums, it didn't translate to the right energy. It was still a dope track, but not for this. So once I sent them back, you know what I'm saying, the last joint, when you get the I don't know if it's GIF or GIF, whatever, but like, you know what I'm saying, when you get the little, you know what I'm saying, like when you start getting emojis and like different stuff back, it's like, all right, right, you struck a nerve, you know what I mean? So, and that's what I always tell like students, I'm like, they all be like, man, how you know when it's good? It's like, man, you gonna know. Yeah. Somebody gonna tell you something. They gonna be like, did you make this? They be like, can I have that? Like, they gonna move to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when they started like, yo, bro, like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? That's when I knew it was something to it. So fast forward, you know what I mean? Kareem is writing, Sabir's, you know what I mean, writing and doing his thing. DK, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, my flow is inspired by Sabir and DK's flow on that track. Because for me, I'm like, I can go any direction, but it's just gotta be the right, it's gotta serve the track. Like, I'm not just gonna do it just to do it, you know what I'm saying, just to flex. It's like, it need to be for, you know what I'm saying, that it's gotta be right for the track. So when they started coming, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, man, you know what I mean? And the way it was, Sabir's verse was first, then DK laid his verse, and then they had that joint at the end. I'm like, man, these cats are already like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, the way they came, it was like, yo, bro, like, I gotta step up to the plate, you know what I'm saying? And even though I sit in a mentor role, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm a little bit older than Sabir, you know what I'm saying? And like, a lot of things happen in life before Sabir. So like, I went to college, you know what I'm saying? And like all those different types of things. So I've been sharing a lot of information, you know what I'm saying, with my brothers, you know, even Kareem, you know what I mean? Kareem is 8 years younger than me. So like, those dynamics was always like, you know what I'm saying? These my younger brothers, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I respect my younger brothers. And I respect them enough to make sure that when I show up on a track, I treat them the same way I would treat, you know, I just did a track, Rhyme Fest, that wrote Jesus Walks and Glory. We just recently did a record educating people about Project 2025 that a lot of people trying to, you know what I'm saying, ain't really talking about. They trying to push that joint through. It's like, nah, fam, you know what I'm saying? We looking at that joint, we gonna talk about it. But the same way I would approach a track with him and Razkaz and whoever, you know what I mean? Like Kevin Ross or Idris Elba, like a Rotimi, Deontay Hitchcock, whoever, I'm gonna put the same energy into my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Because this is getting ready to represent our legacy, and we want to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, we respect the heat, you know what I'm saying, and just the energy that was on the track. So I definitely put in, you know what I'm saying, put in some work, and I'm not a fast writer, you know what I'm saying, typically. Like, I'm gonna take my time, you know what I mean, and I don't feel no type of way about it. Like, I want to make sure that that joint is right. So, yeah, like what we ended up creating.
It's so crazy because like he sent me the beat and I pulled up to the studio. We was actually at Double Clutch, like that's the other clutch, you know what I'm saying? And we put up to the studio and I didn't have anything written. I just had the beat and I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And so I get to the studio and it was so crazy. Like me and Sabir just ended up talking for like maybe like 4 hours. Like I didn't record anything yet. And so, but, you know, during the conversation, he was talking about, you know, his story of the album, you know, what it meant to him. He was showing me videos of him and Vince, like VHS stuff, like on YouTube. And he showed me stuff like him and other artists. And I was just like, wow. So like, I really took that studio session as like learning about the project before I wrote. And so, you know, I had to be everything like that. I went into my home studio, and I just wrote it, you know, in about probably like an hour and a half. Just sat there. I was like, you know, what energy is he trying to bring to this? And so, yeah, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun.
That boy slid. My favorite part of his verse is the part at the end where he just goes on a run. Like, that joint too hard. Man,
it was so hard to record that. I had like to record like twice where I just got it straight because like you just run out of breath. Like I don't even know how. Like that flow is just crazy. So.
And Sabir, the way he kicked it off, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the track is good.
Man, come on, G. Like, how could you not? You know what I mean? Then the hook, you know what I mean? Big shout out to Kareem, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kareem, man, Kareem, first of all, is one of the most lethal pens in, you know, in life. Because definitely, you know what I'm saying? We've been growing up together, you know, I've known him, you know what I'm saying, since he popped out the womb, you know what I mean? But his growth in terms of being an artist, because my thing was, when I heard, I would always, you know what I'm saying, we were always together, so he was always included in the process, and you know what I'm saying, just being around. Like, he got ad-libs on, like, my track $20 Budget. He's singing on my first album, $20 Budget, was a single that I was offered a single deal. So at the time, this is 2009 that it came out. Started writing it probably like around 2008. And at that time, this was around the like, meet me at the trap, it's going down, like Young Jock. So like, I ended up being offered a single deal because by Young Jock during the swag surfing era and all that type of stuff, because I won a competition at Morehouse that was teaching us about the music industry. And Lynn Jeter and was another brother, his name will come to me, but they pretty much would invite Brian Michael Cox and the business. So Dow Jones and Henny, who now works with Kennard Garrett at the Ray Charles Performing Arts Center. They would have panel discussions about the music industry. And in my mind, I'm like, bruh, if I come to another panel and I don't pull back up with a product, I don't pull back up having used the knowledge that they keep telling, because they giving us all these gems. And I was always the type of person, even when I studied business, I needed to have a physical product. Okay, I'm studying economics and finance in this class, but I need a physical product to do this in real life. So it's like, okay, y'all telling us this stuff in theory, but like, I need to go apply this. And when I came back, you know, Lynn Jeter specifically, she was like, y'all need to do something for this young man, because I remember the first time he came, and this man came back with an album, like, let's see what we can figure out. So went over the swag team and all that type of stuff, had the conversation. I didn't take the single deal because I was more focused on, I was getting ready to go study abroad in London. So I was like, that was my priority and my focus. But at the same time, just that process, I learned a lot in that process. So with the music, Kareem, on that first album, he was a part. He sang the hook on a song called Girls in the Hood. He also, like I said, was doing ad-libs on different stuff. We'd all do skits and different things together. But then, later on, he was always good at melodies, always good at just like, you know, coming up with stuff. But when I started, I was moving around. I think I was living in Cali and living in Chicago, and he was sending like different voice notes, and like he started like writing, and it was a time where he needed like a therapeutic release, and he was doing a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, just like writing. And I'm listening to it, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying, because he my brother. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. So like, if it's cool, you know, I'm gonna let you know it's cool. If it ain't it, you know what I'm saying, we not gonna just be jumping all out of our seats. But like, if it's fire, I'm gonna let you know that joint fire. And I'm a tough critic when it comes to writing. But when he came to getting to like, yo, all right, first of all, you barring up right now. Second of all, these cadences fire.
Mm-hmm.
His writing potential. And on the record, Kareem is a big part of why that record has the energy it has the structure it has, and definitely that hook. Just us saying that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he is the one that came up with that concept and that idea. So, yeah, like, it was definitely a team effort, and it's dope. The first record that, you know what I'm saying, us three are all together on, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this, man, you know, to end that point. I can respect Kendrick's approach, you know what I'm saying, to F the Big Three is just Big Me. But look, man, like, I really want to encourage the industry to think through, because you're supposed to believe that you're the best. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to push the culture forward and push your group. However, do it for the reason of pushing your culture forward and pushing the group forward. Not in a way where you're excluding people, because, once again, the same way, if you got losers in your circle, then that's the fabric of your circle. But if you've got a circle of winners, that's a stronger fabric. You know what I'm saying? And I feel the strongest teams are full of bosses, full of leaders, full of alphas, full of, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how I've always moved, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I really like about this track, is that everybody showed up, you know what I'm saying? And everybody saluted each other on the joint. Yeah.
Okay. You got anything else you want to add about the
That's
track?
facts.
You got it? I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Everything that you've done at school as well, and, you know, continue to be great. And now that I have met you, finally, you know, I continue to support you. And like I tell them, you need me to be there, you know, just let me know and I'm coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I appreciate
All right,
it.
y'all clap it up for DK.
Yo!
Clap it up for him. Let's wrap this up. So we'll go ahead and you can plug in your socials.
Yeah, for sure. ALAZ, the number 4 LIFE, Aläz for life on everything. And if you want to tap in on the website, so primarily Instagram is how I'm moving, but that's TikTok. Ain't really nothing on TikTok right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely been slipping on the TikTok, but X, Instagram, anything, and then the website is www.alaz, the number 4 life.com. So that's alazforlife.com.
All right, what about
So you can follow me at DKOMX _ on Instagram, and DKOMX all caps on any streaming platforms. All my music there, so y'all go check it out.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to follow the podcast, it's Unheard Sessions on Instagram. The label page is R1 Record Label, and if you want to follow me personally, that is Indigo Monroe with an _ and follow us on YouTube, R1 _ Record Label, for all updates on the podcast. And we thank y'all for tuning in. Episode 2 is a wrap.
Hey.
And we will see y'all next time. Thank you.
You're the one. I didn't grow up prodigal. My success has been probable. Still go harder than a lot of you.